And we welcome you to the Dunkin' Donuts Center and ESPN's coverage of Saturday Primetime presented by DirecTV. And here tonight it is number 14 Marquette taking on Providence. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining us here. John Sciambi alongside Bob Valvano, and two teams off to great starts in conference. In fact, Marquette has never started 4-0 in the Big East, and so both teams hot right now, but as well a very good opportunity on both sides here this evening.
They both have something to prove because, as you mentioned, Marquette with a great start, but 3 of those first 4 games at home, and in this league, getting it done on the road is the true test. And obviously for Providence, of the first 10 teams in the Big East, they're the only ones not ranked or at least receiving votes. So as good as their start has been, there's still a lot of mindset of show me about this team, and here's an opportunity to do it.
How about our starting lineups for this one? Buzz Williams and the Golden Eagles at 3-guard attack. Dominic James, Jarrell McNeil, Wesley Matthews up front, Lazar Hayward, and Dwight Burke for an undersized team. Meanwhile, Keno Davis has Jeff Xavier, Sherrod Curry, Wayme Efajuku, Jeff McDermott, and Jonathan Colley. Our Star Watch focuses on the Providence Friars' leading scorer. Efajuku can do a little bit of everything.
He is so important to this team. They have so much experience. Yet, as you mentioned, not only is he leading the team in scoring, he leads them in free throw shooting, which is very important, and he has more steals than anyone on the ball club. So a well-rounded game, and he's going to need to bring all of those aspects this afternoon or this evening.
And the big storyline, Wayme Efajuku playing with a heavy heart, attended his father Tony's funeral today. You spoke with Keno Davis about expectations for tonight.
And Keno told us, you know, they are just going to go about it as business as usual. They're going to try and bring him up to speed on the preparation stuff and the scouting report. But, you know, in the young man's best interest, that's probably the best way to play it. Let him go out and play basketball.
We are underway. That one is tipped out of bounds. It'll be Marquette basketball. So the Golden Eagles, unbeaten in conference, taking their act on the road, 15-2 overall. An undersized team, but very scrappy.
It's interesting, the mindset, and we'll get into it in more detail. The game plan for both teams is almost identical. We talked to both coaching staffs. They both are guard-oriented, will attack the rim. You got to find shooters. You got to rebound.
Down low, Matthews walked. It's a turnover, Friars basketball.
Perfect example. When they turn the corner, John, they are thinking of taking it to the rack.
Buzz Williams takes over for Tom Crean, who left for Indiana. Had the 1 year of head coaching experience at the University of New Orleans.
He's feeling a little under the weather today, too, battling a little bug.
And Marquette, the past 10 days or so, a number of players have been battling the flu, and including Jarrell McNeil. And now it's at the coach. Down low, Colley. Offensive foul, and there's Matthews. It'll go the other way.
That's going to be another key for both of these teams. As you take a look at it, watch as they get in the lane. Watch how quickly the help comes from the weak side. Terrific job by Matthews to get in there. And we know when we talked to the Providence coaching staff, they said the same thing, John. Guys get in the lane, you got to get that help in there quickly because, as we said, even though they both make 7 threes a game, guy turns the corners thinking about getting to the rim.
Keno Davis in his first year, only 1 year of head coaching experience prior to this season. What a year it was. Led Drake to the NCAA tournament, National Coach of the Year honors, and takes over for the departed Tim Welsh.
This will be the interesting part of the chess game to see who can make the other play at their speed. Not that Marquette wants to slow it down. Certainly not. They average 81 points a game, but they don't want to turn this into a track meet. They also obviously still want to keep attacking. And for Keno Davis, he'd like to get to use his first 8 he thinks are as good as any in the league, and he wouldn't mind making this thing go up and down and playing at a very high speed, forcing turnovers, putting some pressure on him.
Another thing, too, that's interesting, a lot of experience on both sides. We'll touch on that, but both coaches can lean a lot on their senior players. Here's James, triple, way off the mark. McDermott the board, Curry up ahead. And the rebound is pulled down underneath, but a walk. Dwight Burke lost his footing.
That's just what Buzz Williams was worried about. You look at the rebound, the outlet pass all the way out to midcourt, almost got a clear run out. What a terrific job by James getting back to just challenge for that rebound and keep it from being an easy one.
Efajuku. McNeil getting into the paint, then kicks out. And the fight underneath, they get Colley for pulling Hayward's jersey.
Wow, Keno Davis can't believe that. He is dumbfounded at that call, as you can see. Thought his player got pushed.
That's Colley's second foul. So still scoreless inside the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
It's amazing how even statistically these teams are. We'll take a look at some of the categories, but that's why every rebound is going to be so big, because any place you can find a statistical edge in this game is going to be enormous.
McNeil's pull up off the mark. McDermott pushes it out ahead for the Friars. And McDermott bumped by Hayward. The Golden Eagles off to a 15-2 start. Only losses to Dayton and Tennessee, and second in the Big East in scoring. Only team in the country with 3 guys averaging 16 or more in Matthews, Hayward, and McNeil.
And frankly, 4 over in double figures, and James may be playing the best of his career, even though scoring totals are down. He's being much more of a point guard, doing all the things you look for in a point guard, really leading a winning team, which is good, obviously, for the team and great for him.
Efajuku, little leaner, uses the window. And our first points of the night go to Wayne Efajuku. James gathers in his own miss. And McNeil gives the Golden Eagles the lead.
Little luck there for Marquette, though, obviously. It was all white jerseys on the rebound. They battled each other, knocked it away, and nice job by James to get it out for the shot.
Good look as Efajuku finds Hankey. Randall Hankey shooting 67% from the floor and averaging about 9 a game. McNeil is bumped as Hankey had swatted it out of bounds.
We talked about the balanced scoring for Marquette. And there's 2 really things you look at there, one of which is part of Keno Davis's game plan. He's talking about if he can get one of those first 3 guys maybe in foul trouble, and by doing that, the way to try and do that, get hard to the glass, because Marquette obviously undersized, make those guards have to rebound, maybe and get somebody in foul trouble. But the other side, though, and even though James has taken a lot of shots early, is the emergence of James as a much more traditional point guard in terms of leading this team. That's why you see some of the other scoring totals up. Wesley Matthews having his best year. Largely, that's coming from James doing a better job distributing the ball.
Well, one of the things that Marquette, despite being undersized, that they do so well, get to the line and free throw makes their 5th in the nation. Buzz Williams said, we always want to get to the bonus first. I mean, that's basically their paint touches, what he's talking about.
Well, and that's why we talk about the only way you do that is when you turn the corner and get in the lane, you got to be thinking about finishing. You can't go in there with just thinking pass. Nobody's going to foul you in that case. You see, Providence does the same thing. They are getting inside, looking to score.
McDermott, his first 2, does a good work cleaning up the Efajuku miss. And the Friars leading this one by a point. Short shot from Hayward. He knocks it down, his first 2 of the game.
He's a guy that's always mentioned as an afterthought, and he is just instrumental to why they're off to this good start as well. It's 16 points a game.
Fight for the loose ball, and it will stay with the Friars. Buzz Williams, first year. Tom Crean leaving for Indiana. A couple of young coaches, 35 years old on one side, 36 years old over on the Providence side. Feed down to Hankey. Had it knocked away, but Efajuku. There's Marshawn Brooks. The sophomore has improved leaps and bounds here this season.
I've always been a strong believer that the players make their most improvement between their freshman and sophomore year, and he certainly did. And it's also in this system he is really starting to flourish.
And what do you think that is? Just the transition to the college game? They get used to that?
I mean, one go-round in this league, and just obviously the fact I think he's comfortable that Keno Davis really respects his ability, looking to put his talents to good use.
A couple of quick fouls on Ryan McKenzie. He's got 2, so he'll sit. And Jeff Xavier checks back in. 5 team fouls and the Friars 1 on the Golden Eagles.
Oh, what a block!
Great block by Marshawn Brooks. Goodness. And Efajuku hanging and scoring. He's got 4.
That's a good finish by James, but they like as we said, turn it into a high-scoring game, but I think that pace favors Providence a little bit. They don't mind if this thing's going to go up and down. You saw a spectacular highlight film by Brooks.
Offensive foul. Sherrod Curry bangs into Wesley Matthews. Keno Davis didn't like the call. Friars lead it by a point. One of the greatest all time. Ernie D will show you one of the best passes maybe ever in college basketball history.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. And in part by KFC. It's a flavor blitz. KFC's honey barbecue wings have 3 layers of flavor.
Well, inside the Dunkin' Donuts Center earlier today, Marvin Barnes and Ernie DiGregorio coaching the alumni game. You remember watching Ernie D. I know one of your heroes.
Man.
Jersey hanging from the rafters.
Absolutely. I'm not embarrassed to tell you, I had never met him before today. It was a thrill to meet him. And why? Because he would do things like we're about to see, which is stuff that you don't see anymore today. You might see this, the ability to turn and shoot the jumper. But how about this? The old 45-foot behind-the-back pass between 2 defenders on the run. John, when's the last time you described that in a game? That is unbelievable.
That will be my only opportunity right there. He is 8th all-time at Providence at 1,700 at 60 career points, 3rd overall pick of the 1973 NBA draft. Well, after a slow start, things have gotten going offensively on both ends.
And a lot of balance. Each team's already had 4 different players score, and that's the way they play. So nobody is able to establish really the upper hand just yet.
Hankey draws the foul from Dwight Burke. Randall Hankey's going to be a tough matchup for Marquette because they are so small. Burke's at 6'8", Hankey 6'11", and Burke is basically the biggest player they play.
It's going to be interesting to see how the officials call it because Marquette just very physical. Even though they're small, they almost defy you to go ahead, call 60 fouls. Obviously, that's not going to happen very often. Now let's get 2 in a hurry right here.
Look at this block. Marshawn Brooks.
Just sensational. Then he picked up the loose ball and got an assist at the other end. Individual highlight reel stuff for him.
They get McDermott with the bump as McNeil was speeding the other way. Providence Friars off to a good start in conference. Keno Davis, first season as head coach. They've won 4 out of 5 and played especially well here inside the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and already an opportunity for the Golden Eagles to go to the line. But McNeil couldn't hit the front end of the 1-and-1. 17 fouls on Providence, 3 team fouls on Marquette. So Buzz Williams has gotten his wish. And McDermott at the other end. And the Friars leading by a point. McDermott's got 4.
Such a versatile player. So he's closing in on becoming the 40th player in the history of the school to go over 1,000 points. Needed 10 coming into this one tonight.
Real good passer as well.
Oh, he's an all-around player. He is the one of the most leading active rebounders in Division I basketball as well right now. So he does everything.
Yeah, so 6 points away from 1,000 for Jeff McDermott. And a steal there by Wemi Efujuku.
As we talked about at the top of the show, he leads the team in steals. He's their leading scorer, and so much balance on both sides here. That's what they need. A stop here and there, defensive play to change the momentum of the ball game. Whoa.
Nice rebound by Brooks. And the look down low. And McDermott, they say no basket.
Marshawn Brooks just absolutely electrifying so far for the first 6 minutes of this ball game. Great block shot, picked up a great assist there, a terrific rebound. Had there not been a foul call, might have got another assist getting it to McDermott.
They get Dwight Burke with his second. 14 fouls on Marquette. Friars overall with a lot of balance. Alex Kellogg has checked in for Providence, the son of Clark Kellogg. Bump on the floor. I'll tell you what, this is a physical game to get Jimmy Butler with that foul.
Well, it is interesting. You talk about, and even though Keno Davis has some players he looks to at the leaders, he really feels like he could have 8 guys that could be considered starters, and it's reflected in the scoring totals. Marquette, after their first 4, the drop-off is astounding. And that's, they understand their roles. Those first 4 players in double figures, the next leading scorer is just at 4 points a game.
Yeah, Brooks, McKenzie, and Hankey all could easily be starting as Xavier knocks down the triple. He has struggled overall this year from 3. A former transfer from Manhattan College, Jeff Xavier, played for Bobby Gonzalez until he left for Seton Hall.
We'll get to the couple of numbers of underscoring your point about one of the things that Providence has done so much better in this resurgence of late is involving shooting percentage.
When they get the block, fans do not like that call. Alex Kellogg, his first foul.
Again, one of the key points for Keno Davis's bunch is guys getting in the lane. He needs people quickly to step up, try to take the charge. That is the hardest call for an official. There's no question about that. But keep in mind that if the guy has the ball, you don't have to give him any space at all. You're allowed to get as quickly establish your position, and if he initiates the contact, it is an offensive foul. That was a tough call to make right there.
Butler, the junior college transfer from Texas. Really, whatever they get scoring-wise from their bench is just kind of
found money.
Yeah. And Lazar Hayward will check back in.
His first year, coaches have done remarkable jobs on the first half of the season. Both of them connecting with their team, putting their imprint in place. Certainly Tom Crean did a masterful job here, and this team still plays very aggressively and physically as he did, but there's no doubt that Buzz Williams has clearly, he's in charge, and the players have responded well.
Brooks 3 way off, and the rebound kicks out to Matthews. And that one rattles home. Wesley Matthews, of course, his father, Wes Matthews, NBA fans should be familiar with. And now Brooks, the sophomore, will set it up. Hankey the screen. Xavier. And the rebound, Hazel. Matthews had it back tap. And now Brooks hangs in the air and converts 4 for Marshawn Brooks.
That was a nice decision. You get a 2-on-1, that should be either a one-pass or a no-pass break. You make the defender commit, and the defender refused to commit to Brooks that time, so he made the right decision, take it all away and finish it himself.
Friars leading this one by 2. Hayward off balance and a little out of control. Curry slows it down, didn't have numbers. It's interesting watching Providence. It's not like they lean on one guy offensively.
No, it is. And that's what Keno Davis said he's hoping carries him in this season.
Nice look to Hankey, and 1. Randall Hankey's got 4. And he is devastating from in close. Friars lead this one by 4. Back here in Providence as the Friars lead it by 4. 11:17 to go in the first half, and Big Monday continues on ESPN at ESPN2 with men's and women's, the current #1 teams of the country in action. 7 Eastern ESPN. Syracuse goes up against Pitt, and 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Maya Moore and women's #1 UConn takes on North Carolina. Maya Moore at 40 points today, a career high against Syracuse. Big Monday presented by Bud Light, part of ESPNU Campus Connection. And there are Big East standings. Marquette unbeaten. Louisville, big win today. And everybody just kind of jumbled together there up top.
I'll tell you what, though, Notre Dame is the walking example of why this league is so brutal. They had a very good game against Louisville. They wound up losing in overtime. Today, Syracuse drops a bomb on them, and now they have plummeted to 8th in the league. They had one bad week, and they're barely on the first panel of the standings there now. I mean, you have got to, you really got to make sure, and I've talked to a lot of coaches who have absolutely said they do this at length. Talk to your players about keeping an even keel, because if you don't, by the end of the season, you will have been emotionally worn out with the ups and downs of this demanding Big East Conference.
Hankey completes the three-point play. He's got 5, and Colley checks back in. Friars lead by that margin. David Kubion is checked in for Marquette, native of Venezuela, but played his high school ball for Danny Hurley at St. Benedict's Prep.
Fine three-point shooter. Right now, Providence having much the better at field goal shooting.
And 3 by Wesley Matthews off the mark, and the Friars a chance to add to their lead. Xavier going to work on the baseline. Hanging, gets it to go. That was a tough shot.
Again, you know, the mindset of both these teams so similar. We've talked about it, but it really comes down to execution, because guard oriented. You see Providence on a nice run right now. Guard oriented, very attacking. Providence changing defenses here. Marquette will be willing to do that as well. Very, very similar makeups to these teams.
Little pull up for Hayward, and he hits. 4 for Lazar Hayward, the native of Buffalo, New York. Kind of taking a next step this year. Shot Curry cannot hit.
Kind of an excuse me shot there. Got in the lane. I'm not sure he really wanted to shoot that. This is where the experience of both these teams, certainly Marquette, they're not going to get rattled. Too much experience on the floor.
The elbow jumper for Hayward won't go. 5 rebounds for Jeff McDermott. Explodes to the rim and rolls it home.
How many different guys have we seen take it in the lane and be able to finish? So Xavier before. It's the second time we've seen McDermott do it. Again, if you let people get in the lane and hurt you, you're going to be on the wrong side of the score. And Marquette's having more trouble with that right now than Providence is.
Yeah, we talked about Providence with the size advantage. 20 of 24 points for the Friars in the paint. And another rebound by McDermott.
John, it's not really traditional post-up stuff, though. It's things like that.
Out ahead as Colley lays it in. His first 2 of the game, and a timeout called by Marquette. 9:06 to go here, first half, and the Friar fans are loving it.
Hey, so what did you think I brought that fire energy shot to you?
It looks like you're switched on to me. It looks like you're focusing more, so that kind of sold me on it.
Well, it was a nice 2-ounce shot, and I took it. It really helped me focus there in the race car, and then especially after the race, I felt really good after it. I wasn't tired.
Let me tell you something, buddy. As much money as I've been spending on this whole car, you need to stay focused.
I know, right? But
is that going to save me money with you focusing more?
It should, because the shot's only $3, and the race car's 150 grand, so I think it'll help me out more.
That's a good idea. I like that.
5-hour energy. I use it. I love it.
Dino Davis' team on an 11-2 run inside the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and they've gotten things going a little bit transition-wise.
Well, this was what Buzz Williams was concerned about, the ability to get down the floor for the front court people for Providence. And certainly, Colley does as good a job running the floor as anybody out there, and especially for a front court player. And you can see that right now, the shooting percentage reflected in the fact simply that Providence getting in the lane better, and they put a great run together. You see a 11-2 run right now, getting better shots, and now they've changed defenses, playing that little zone.
Matthews almost lost it, and James does. Up ahead after
another easy one. Look out! This is exactly what Keno Davis wanted. He's got Marquette off balance, changed defenses, and getting easy looks.
Oh, circus shot. Jarrell McNeil, 7 points, and he'll go to the line. Wow, the body control.
Take a look at the defense here. And again, look at that. It's a three on none. If they had run, they just all let up because they knew Efujuku was going to finish it easily. Set up by the defense. But this is what we talked about, John. This is a Marquette team that, since they joined the league, they have the most wins of the newcomers to the Big East in their 4th season here. And these guys have been through the wars. They're not going to get rattled here. They're down, getting down by 8 or 9 points. Look at this. They've now put 4 together. The offensive rebound off the free throw, a little mini run, gets it back down to 7.
Let's say offensive interference. And that bucket will be credited to Jimmy Butler.
See a great finish by McNeil. That's what you expect from upperclassmen, an 18-point-a-game scorer. Know the anatomy of the game, when it's time to attack, when it's time to try and make something happen. Crowd was getting into it a bit, get in the lane, draw the foul, possible three-point play. They actually turned it into 4 points. Not sure they needed that one. And now Marquette getting a run together.
On the baseline. Nice soft touch there. Joseph Fultz hits.
This is where Providence now has got to get resettled, get a shot that they want. That's a pretty good pass inside.
Great look down low. Brooks at 6'5", and the 5'11" James on him, and they recognize it immediately.
Well, John, you've already alluded to that twice. There are going to be some mismatches out there, and how quickly Providence can recognize them without completely getting out of their system is going to be where they find easy shots.
Butler can't hit there.
That's the shot Providence will want them to take all day.
Marquette so active down low, and Hayward with the tip-in. Lazar Hayward, 6 points.
Don't sleep on them rebounding-wise just because they're undersized.
Sean Brooks, nice move. 8 for the sophomore.
He is really a huge part of this, I don't want to say surprisingly good stuff by Providence. A lot of people knew the experience they had, targeted them as perhaps a dark horse, but they're still trying to convince the rest of the country. The only one of the top 9 teams in the Big East not either ranked or receiving votes.
And people talk about 10 teams possibly getting in. I guess right now, yeah, you'd say Providence is the 10th team, right?
Well, we talked to Keno Davis about that. It's going to be a big old-fashioned Big East war inside. Talk about what Keno thinks will take to get to the NC tournament. Straight ahead when we come back.
Wayme Efajuku playing with a heavy heart, playing well. Friars lead. All right, Jari, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Here's what's happened so far, and we're down to 1. Clemson goes down, Pitt goes down, so only 1 unbeaten. It's Wake Forest. Big surprise, the SEC has been such a dominant force in college basketball, does not have a team in the top 25. James Harden and company, big win over UCLA, and then Pitt beaten by Louisville. And, you know, again, you go on the road, I think it's tough to measure how difficult it is, and even calling it an upset. Here tonight, if Providence wins this game, you wonder if that's even an upset.
We want to get to what Keno Davis said about this league, but real quick, a shout-out to Herb Sendek. They won that game at Pauley Pavilion, and how about a job he's doing out there? There's a guy who didn't get, I don't think anywhere near the credit he deserved for a great run at NC State, now getting it done at Arizona State, so big win for Herb Sendek out there.
Yeah, no question, a huge victory in Arizona State, winning on the road in the Pac-10. Here, Marquette trying to get things going offensively. Lazar Hayward a 3. And 9 now for Lazar Hayward.
Nice, simple penetrating kick. Just do what you do. Have the patience. That's what experience brings you.
McDermott with the follow. 8 points for Jeff McDermott. He's 2 away from 1,000.
And that makes now 30 points in the paint for Providence. 30-12. They're winning that battle. And they've got 13 bench points to just 6 for Marquette.
30 of 34. Jarrell McNeil not able to finish. All right, you talked to Keno Davis about how many teams he thought would get into to the tournament from the Big East.
Well, you take a look at this. Take a look at the top 25 breakdown. You see the Big East has 8 teams in already, and they also have West Virginia, was also receiving votes. If the Big East, if it had been divided into 2 8-team conferences instead of 1 16-team league, would anybody begrudge 5 bids from either, no matter how you divide it? Well, and so I said to Keno Davis, do you think 10 can go? He said, I'll tell you this, I'd feel a lot more comfortable being at 9. And so that's what we talk about, is let's not leave it any debate. Let's get in the top 9. And if this league doesn't send 9 to the tournament, I'll be shocked. And he said he'd be shocked, and I would be shocked as well. So that's kind of their, not I would say unstated goal, a directly stated goal. Get in the top 9.
So you think to some extent that just getting somebody or getting a conference 10 is going to be difficult hump for that team to get over?
I think it may be. You know, it's kind of uncharted waters. This, in my opinion, is the deepest conference I literally have ever seen. And so, you know, you don't want to put it in, like I always say about coaches, don't want to put it in the officials' hands late in the game. I think they don't want to put it in the committee's hands of having to go to bat for a 10th place team in the conference. You know there's going to be a lot of losses in there simply because you're going to have been beaten by a number of teams in your own conference that are in the top 25.
Terrell McNeil goes to the line, and McNeil 7 points so far. The Chicago native, 10 team fouls on the Friars. That last one on Henke, his second. So rest of the first half, Marquette will be shooting 2, just like Buzz Williams talked about. Now his team is down 5, but again, with every foul, they'll be shooting 2 the rest of the way. And McNeil able to convert both, a 79% free throw shooter. He's got 9.
This is where teams that have been good recently, but have not historically been that good. Providence obviously is kind of building here. These are the possessions where you get a chance to make statements. You got a little wobbly here. Your lead is down to 4. Can you get exactly the shot you want? Let's see what they get out of this possession. They're going to put it in Efijuku's hand, see what he can create.
Efijuku has it swatted by McNeil. McNeil all the way the other way, and an offensive foul.
Now that's a telltale sign in a bit. After getting your leading scorer's shot swatted, did they sulk? You see the great block here. No, they come back. Coaches always preach, make the next play, make the next play. And you see nice transition by Xavier. Establish position and get the ball back.
6 turnovers on Buzz Williams' team.
Again, though, not much flow right now. Providence is a flow team. When their offense gets going, looks almost effortless. It's a tough shot there, but nothing at the bottom.
From deep, Jeff Xavier, he's got 8. Mentioned a transfer, played with C.J. Anderson at Manhattan. C.J. Anderson, of course, playing for Sean Miller now at Xavier.
Guy coming in shooting just 27% from the three-point line, but Davis said that's one of the things they've done so much better of late. Made the 3 at a higher percentage and defended the 3.
James, an air ball. McDermott, another rebound. He's got 10 already.
The last 5 games, Providence has shot 40.5% from the threes. And in the last 9, they've held teams under 27% from the 3.
So both ends, as you said, from the arc, it's gone a lot better for Keno Davis's team. And he wants to bring the big guy Randall Henke back in. Alex Kellogg will sit. .20 on the shot clock. Ryan McKenzie picked up a couple of quick fouls early in this one. McDermott and now Xavier. Good hands there by Wesley Matthews. McNeil to Matthews and the flush.
As we talked about, Marquette certainly not looking to slow the game down. They average 81 points a game. But they want to be the ones to dictate the tempo, not to be reacting to what Providence does. And you get the sense, John, they've done a better job of that here in the last few minutes when they've narrowed this gap.
And again, a Marquette team with the 3 seniors. They've been to the NCAA tournament every year. Sherrod Curry, first 3 of the game, first 3 points. Matthews off balance, rebound pulled down by Curry. Friars by 8. And Curry's fouled, it'll go to the line. Well, Marquette, high percentage shot there for Wesley Matthews, but the answer, the triple for Curry. Friars +8. Well, Wednesday night ESPN with doubleheader action featuring 4 of the nation's top 25. 7 Eastern, it's Scotty Reynolds and Villanova going up against UConn. Then 9 Eastern, Casey Rivers and Clemson going up against Tyler Hansbrough and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Wednesday Night Hoops presented by Disney Parks, part of ESPNU Campus Connection. Tough loss today at home for Clemson as they were beaten. First loss of the year, lost to Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake showing there for real, no question. Keno Davis said he's not sure his first 5 will stack up with the first 5 of everybody else in this league, but he likes his first 8, and that is a storyline today. His bench outscoring Marquette's bench 13-6. They're shooting 60% against the Marquette team that only gives up 41% shooting. So they are doing just about everything they need to do, in addition to the numbers you keep giving out about their dominance in the paint.
Yeah. Now, he said to you that he really felt like it was key for the bench guys to come in and be better when it's subs against subs.
Which I thought was interesting. You know, when you're in a rebuilding situation, you don't usually look at it that way. You try to figure out how do I make my first 5 better. You don't feel like you can go as deep, but he feels they can go deeper. As you see those shooting percentages, 20% difference from the floor will win you some games.
McNeil had it knocked away, saved by Brooks. When Matthews finds James into the paint, nice look. And Fultz.
He seemed to take a couple of additional steps, did he not? He got a good running start. There's a nice pass, but he did it without the benefit of the dribble for a good number of steps, it appeared.
Fajuku, pass deflected.
Be careful if you're the Friars here.
And McNeil puts it home.
This is an experienced bunch, and you don't want to undo 15 good minutes of work with a stretch of careless basketball. Just like that, Marquette has it back to 5.
Curry with James harassing him. 2 little guys. And now Xavier with Matthews on. Tosses it up, couldn't get it to go, but he'll go to the line. Take one more look at James to Fultz.
All right, here we go. 1, 2. Well, I don't know. You know. Yeah, I'll tell you, I coached in Europe for a year. I know in Europe that's okay. They let you take that, that European step, but I believe Rhode Island's still part of the union here, so not sure.
Right. 9 now for Jeff Xavier. Native of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. McKenzie will check back in.
There's a lot of points being put on the board here. There's still a little less than 2 minutes to go. We've already had 79 points scored. I mean, this is, even for 2 high-scoring teams, an offensive outburst here.
Feed down low, Matthews from in close. And 8 for Wesley Matthews. He's their leading scorer, just under 19 a game. And, of course, that trio, Matthews, McNeil, and James, the 3 seniors. Marshawn Brooks, the other end, 10 points for the sophomore, who averaged about 9 minutes a game a season ago. He's taken his game to that next level. Fultz underneath.
What a terrific dish. That's what James, you know, his scoring, he's only got 2 points tonight, but boy, he is such a playmaker now. And really, all of his teammates are benefiting from the fact that he's really embraced being a much more true point guard.
McDermott spinning. McKenzie. Fajuku. And McDermott is fouled. And folks, Big Monday continues. ESPN, ESPN2, men's and women's current #1 teams in the nation in action. 7 Eastern at Syracuse against Pitt. That's on ESPN. Then ESPN2, it is UConn and North Carolina in women's basketball. Maya Moore with 40 points today. A new career high. Had that against Syracuse.
You know, that's going to be an interesting game for Pitt, because that is the story of this league. Everybody's getting knocked on their keister at some point. You're not sailing through this. How quickly can you bounce back, especially when you got these very short turnaround games? McDermott missing a pair, but yet Providence able to come up with the rebound. Pretty much can hold almost the last shot. What, about 3 seconds difference? 3 plus. Really simple stuff. Just space the floor, find a crease, take advantage of a matchup where somebody can go by somebody. Davis will take a timeout to set something up.
11 on the shot clock when they come out. And blockbuster Saturday here on the ESPN family of networks. And got it going into Big East from the Carrier Dome. Syracuse all over Notre Dame. Number 5 Oklahoma goes on the road. Blake Griffin struggled at times, but Jeff Capel's team will win. And Wake over Clemson and Louisville over Pitt. Did any of those surprise you?
Surprise, I think the margin of the Syracuse game. That's a very good Notre Dame team. No, I can't say I was shocked about it. I mean, Wake's for real. So anytime I guess you go on the road and win, especially conference game against a fellow top 10 team, you can say a little bit of a surprise there. But hey, they came in unbeaten and they're the real deal. And Louisville over Pitt, that was what you thought it would be. They were kind of in a knockdown drag out right till the last minute of that one. Louisville got a little separation late, put it away.
Providence leading this one by 5. See where they go.
Yeah, they're going to set a couple of high screens. Let him pick which side he wants to go. He goes right and not able to turn the corner.
Gets away. Curry can't put it home. And Marquette Brooks the steal, and it would not have counted. Mike Kipps racing over to say that would not have gone. So the Friars with a big first half in the paint. Providence leads this one at the break 45-40, and they've done a good job holding down the Marquette guards. Back to the studio now in the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime.
Junior, you are allowing your guys to make decisions. You open the floor up and trust them. They'll know when to go, when to try and finish, when to kick it out, and they both are doing it, obviously, very well.
Rare to see high major teams with this much experience.
Extremely unusual, and to see two teams play such similar styles. I think it's one of the reasons Marquette struggled early. They're not used to seeing a team play like they play. And they won the last segment of the first half. That's the first one they'd won.
Good move by Xavier Colley. The rebound and the putback. 4 points for the big fella who had some foul trouble in the first half. He's got 3.
Again, look at all that room in the lane. Usually just one guy in there. Now Marquette's got a couple guys flashing in and out. But still trying to give plenty of room to work. And again, that's trusting a lot of your players' decisions.
Lob attempt off the rim. And
No sooner do I say that, you see a bad decision. That wasn't there. That was a bit of a force.
Xavier finds Colley. And underneath, McDermott. 2 for the big guy, and that's 1,000 for his career. 10 points tonight.
It's the second game I've had this year where guys gone over 1,000. They don't stop the games for that anymore, do they? Has that become so... Is that passe? Is that like medicine balls and black socks? Is that another era?
I don't know that medicine balls and black socks go together, and I still see black socks. We'll deal with that later.
Hayward, again, the oh-by-the-way guy who's averaging 16 points a game.
Toss down, McDermott spinning on Fultz and throws it away.
You know, Davis saying it was deflected, but the officials say he would be incorrect. So Marquette trying to battle back.
Golden Eagles last year, 25-10. You saw Jeff McDermott, 1,000-point scorer. Marquette 25-10 last year. Beat Kentucky in the first round of the tourney and then lost to Stanford. And the Friars were out of the mix for postseason play last year. James, ball fake, travel.
He's saying, I did that in the first half. You didn't call it. Really was almost the same thing, basically.
Dominique James, native of Richmond, Indiana, as Buzz Williams looks on.
Turnover battle. Not for such a high-tempo game. We haven't seen really a lot of turnovers, John.
Both teams done a pretty good job running their offense. Here's Efajuku. Good feed to Colley, but he just couldn't collect it off his hands and out of bounds. And Wayme Efajuku, well, a tough day for him, and attended his father's funeral earlier. There was at least initially questions about if he was going to get back in time, but he's here, and I can't even really imagine what that's like for him.
You know, though, having, as you see James finish with that layup, you know, one of the things that players will tell you, though, sometimes in a time of grief when you know really there isn't anything else you can do, the best thing is to get on the floor and lose yourself in the game. For these 2 hours, you'll be able to forget, hopefully, a little bit of that heartache, but it had to be an unbelievably emotionally demanding day.
Jeff Xavier down on the court. He's grabbing his nose or his face. They got Fultz on the foul, his 3rd.
Still trying to figure out exactly what happened, but he's obviously in a great deal of pain. Let's take a look. Ooh, the elbow right in the kisser. Yeah, Fultz trying to put a hand straight up. Just put an elbow right in his face.
He is really in some pain.
Well, I mean, it just takes the right angle. You see, he's obviously just trying to put his hand up on the ball, but you see down the elbow, right in the, looks like probably in the, right on the nose, and that's potentially, to state the obvious, a broken nose, and he is in tremendous pain. Wow. I hate to be so callous, but with the towel over his face, we can't see maybe his eye, maybe below his nose. I don't know, but he is just really, really in some pain over there. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what they're looking at. Might be his eye now I'm looking at. I think it is his eye. I think it's over his right eye. Whoa, what is going on here? Oh, this is dangerous. Wow, the security staff, fortunately coming out. A fan came on the floor. I don't know, he's angry about this. I guess it's his friend and feeling, he got hurt. But, gee, well, I mean, it wasn't a dirty play. There was the players didn't react violently. Wow, but now Xavier's woofing a little bit. I'm not so sure why he's that angry, to be honest, John. I mean, obviously he's in great pain, but the player just put his hand up to try and block the shot. Fultz didn't do anything dirty. And that at least not anything I saw. Did you?
And a fan coming onto the court.
That's always very nerve-wracking. Let's take a look. Let's review everything that's happened here. Here's the play. There's the drive. You see Xavier with the drive. Fultz puts his hand up, and he just hits him with his elbow. His hand's straight up. I mean, he didn't even hack down. And now watch the guy just come out of the stands. Here he comes right there as the free throw went up. And nobody, I mean, that's dangerous because obviously he makes it to the officials unimpeded. I think he was able to do that because people were so startled.
Unbelievable.
I literally have never seen that before.
And was coming out at least initially just to kind of talk.
But then Xavier was furious at somebody or something. I mean, we'll get more information on what's going on with him.
That one was halfway down from Wesley Matthews. Brooks pushes ahead, and Curry. McDermott almost got it to go, and he'll go to the line. Big Jeff McDermott, senior from New Rochelle, New York. And they get Fultz on the foul. That is his fourth.
Boy, McDermott shot the free throws for Xavier, who had to leave the game, and he's seems to be feeding on the emotion of the play, which is strange because sometimes that happens when it's a foul and the crowd starts roaring and everybody. But other than it was a very painful play for Xavier, it was a very innocent-looking play.
Yeah. Another look at McDermott, very versatile player. He's 6'8", about 240. Last year, by necessity, actually had to play some point guard for them.
Yes.
But he passes, he handles, and he just does a little bit of everything, and he's got 13 points.
Fourth in the country of active players in rebounds in the nation. So, guy scores, can play the point, as you said last year, and can rebound, a little bit of everything.
Hayward's triple off the mark. And McKenzie is fouled by Dominic James. His first.
Well, this is interesting because Providence plays very aggressively as well, but I think not as physically as Marquette. And even though it didn't have anything to do with the players, when you get an incident like that, John, officials get much more sensitive to make sure that they avoid volatile situations. If they call it closer, it might work for Providence.
Marshawn Brooks buries a three, 13 for the sophomore. He has been impressive tonight.
This has been an impressive start to the second half because they were so hot in the first half. I'm sure Marquette went in, regrouped, said, hey, they shot a terrific percentage, 56%. Let's just hang in there. Instead, Providence has extended the lead.
McNeil can't quiet the crowd. It was a 5-point advantage at the break. Now 11, and Providence looking to add on. And a little push off. It'll go the other way. They get Sherrod Curry on the foul. Providence Friars trying to improve to 4-1 in the Big East.
Dario in studio, updating the game over on ESPN. Miami once had a 9-point lead on North Carolina, but it's been all heels since. Wayne Ellington for 3. Wayne Ellington for 3. It's a 9-point game. Nothing like anybody walking on the court during a free throw, but still interesting at Chapel Hill, guys.
Well, Daria, it's been a little bit interesting here as Providence leads by 11. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. Take a look at this right here. Jeff Xavier fouled by Joseph Fultz and goes down in a heap.
I mean, I've been around a lot of plays. I don't see anything that Fultz did that can even remotely be considered dirty, but Xavier is irate. I mean, you know, we watched it, I guess, 3 times on the air, and we were watching it during the break ourselves. Fultz just comes over and puts his hands up, and he happens, unfortunately, to catch the elbow right on that bone over your eye. I mean, and anybody who's played, I have stitches. You see those stitches down?
I do.
Banging heads with a guy inadvertently, and then you get it there. It's very painful, but, you know, that's just, it happens. I certainly am surprised he got that irate about it.
Well, I'm sure the combo frustration of pain and no foul call.
Well, they did call a foul.
But not, they called the foul.
But not in a, but I mean, what did he want? A flagrant foul? Intentional foul? It was nothing, but it was a foul. And they called it, and, you know, very unfortunate that he got hurt, but very, very strange play. We'll leave it to understate it.
Hankey steps out and hits. Randall Hankey, 7 points. And one of the top field goal percentage players in the country at 67% coming in. And Hankey 3 for 3 so far in this one. That one in and out. McKenzie, look out. Ryan McKenzie, first 2 of the night, and he announces his presence with authority.
That's what experienced players do, though. While you're celebrating and jumping around and getting excited, they take it inside. You got 2, and they're going to get 3 back. You watch the leading scorer for the Golden Eagles, Wesley Matthews. This is a rather impressive dunk, though. John, that is all that room in the lane, and Providence playing with more and more confidence as the game gets deeper into it.
Matthews can't convert, and a fight for the loose ball. They get Jimmy Butler, his 3rd.
The more I'm around coaches, the more I have come to terms with the fact that obviously to be one of the Division I head coaches, you're in the top 325 coaches in the country. So you got to be a very good coach.
McDermott, the 2-handed stuff. He's had a good night, 15. A double-double for Jeff McDermott. Good look. Shot blocked.
Oh, Providence now, though. This is just when they have a chance to really get him by the throat, make a turnover. The point I was making is all these guys know the game. You know, they may have little wrinkles. They may teach one part of it better than another. What really separates them is knowing how to, when they put the gas, when to go to the gas, when to ease up, how to manage your player's psyche. And I found it interesting that Keno Davis did everything in his power to tell his team that this was really not a pressure game.
Jarrell McNeil, big 3. That answer right there, 16 for McNeil.
And I think that he did that knowing that they're going to know what's on the line here, and they need to be relaxed. And, John, they've been relaxed.
Yeah, watching them and shoot around, very calm. Keno Davis, by and large, the demeanor, very easy going.
Well, you see his now. He's getting more animated on the bench as they have this double-digit lead. See the nice pass. Again, that great spacing. Gives Providence a chance to extend their lead. Keno Davis getting more animated in front of the bench because while he's told his team to relax, he knows this is a huge opportunity for his team.
But his demeanor reminds you of his dad, wouldn't you say? His dad was pretty even on the bench.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Keno knows this area. His dad, Dr. Tom Davis, coached Boston College from 1977 to 1982.
So I'm giving one of the great lectures. He was coaching at Lafayette at my brother Jim's basketball camp at Bucknell on making the V-cut. Coog, I can still do it for you if you want. Got to get yourself free. Got to know how to make V-cuts.
McKenzie hits. 4 points for Brian McKenzie, and Providence the lead at a dozen. Matthews down low, almost lost it. James tries the three, got it.
If you beat them, you're going to have to beat them because they're not going to fold their tents. There's too much talent, too much experience. This has been, as we said, a very, very successful program under Tom Crean, and they haven't missed a beat so far this year under Buzz Williams. They are going to keep battling.
Friars have led most of the way in this one.
When you look at the segment scoring, the media segments, Providence has won every segment but one, so they have controlled most of the game.
Well, fans, Big Monday continues on ESPN and ESPN2. Men's and women's current #1 teams in the nation in action. 7 Eastern ESPN, Syracuse and Pitt, and then 7 Eastern ESPN2. Maya Moore and women's #1 UConn taking on North Carolina. It's Big Monday presented by Bud Light. James stepping in, gets the steal, a 3-on-1. Good look. Hayward throws it down. And Lazard Hayward now with 13.
Isn't that interesting? Dominic James' scoring total has gone down to the lowest in his career and maybe having more of an impact than he ever has. With the game on the line, he did hit the three, but then the steal and the dish, the easy one, and all of a sudden his team's got some momentum back.
Well, he's done good work defensively as well. And there's Sherrod Curry aggressively to the rim. Again, you mentioned it. These teams are very similar, like to get right at the 10.
They come off that screen. They are not playing cat and mouse. It is drive it to the back, to the rack, make someone commit, and then make your decision. If nobody commits, you be ready to finish yourself. You see right there. You see the lean in. They didn't really commit to help, and so his decision is to take it all the way to the basket. If they just come in and extend that little arm in the lane, that's not enough to stop and make you dish it. You go and finish the play, and he did, drew the foul, and gets a chance at the free throw line.
That last foul on Dominic James, his second. Team foul number 7, only 2 team fouls on Providence. So that is not going the way Buzz Williams would like. Providence leading this one by 9.
Look at all the room.
Matthews wandering in, spins and scores.
His teammates aren't going to get in his way. They give the guy on the low block plenty of room. That's just trying to keep the defense honest a bit so that you know you can't completely forget about protecting the paint, protecting the post.
Both these teams, new coaches, so new systems, and
might have got away with one there.
Nice move, Marshawn Brooks.
Good
and
finish.
15.
Good finish, but it might have been a charge. Look at that pass. Wow.
Great look. And Wesley Matthews. Providence by 7. The throwdowns happen at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Dari back here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. It's Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. Dominic James' team down by 7. And Providence been red hot. 7 of 8 from the floor. And a pair of Roger Williams' finest right there.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, you're like when Jerry Lucas, you know the names and the alma mater of everybody in the arena.
Well, yeah, it's the old Ernie Harwell trick. That one, foul back to a man from Dearborn who makes the catch, right? Providence trying to prove to 4-1. Marquette 4-0. Never been off to a 4-0 start in the Big East. So they have an opportunity to go 5-0, but they're going to have to rally to do it.
Yeah, but they are getting the momentum back a little bit. It's tough to rattle this bunch. Too many seniors and too many victories in this league to get too depressed about being down with 12 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, it's a point you made earlier, too. For Marquette, it's not just experience. It's experience at winning. They've been to the NCAA tournament all 3 years with that trio of seniors. Big board, McDermott tried to find Henke, but the pass deflected back to him, and now they'll set it up with Efajuku and now Curry.
That's why this game really is so big for Providence. Take a look at the shooting percentage. Providence still on fire, and yet they really don't have much separation here. So that's got to make Davis a little bit uneasy.
Curry got it.
Now that was an experienced possession by the Friars. McDermott looked like he was taking a walk in the park out there in the high post.
Hayward got that one. Lazar Hayward stepping out and hitting the 316 for the native of Buffalo, New York, who after his high school career didn't get any interest from Syracuse, at least not in basketball. They offered him a rowing scholarship, then went to prep school, and then Syracuse got involved. Providence did as well, but Hayward hits Marquette as Curry goes down to the deck.
I think it's really interesting. They're scoring all these points, really not lighting it up. I mean, the percentage is good, but not a lot of threes even being taken. They are doing it just by getting the floor spaced and keep probing the defense till you find a matchup you can exploit and then go around somebody and get a good percentage shot.
Davis, his team right now up by 7, and we talked about Buzz Williams saying he wants to be the first team to get to the bonus. Well, 18 fouls on Marquette, just 3 on Providence, so that is not turning out the way Buzz Williams would like. Providence on top by 8. Matthews kicks out to James. And the rebound pulled down by McDermott. Look at Maurice Acker, lightning quick, up ahead to James. And the left-handed layup won't go, but there's Hayward. In traffic, had it blocked. Nope, that's not down. Trying to find Henke. And out of bounds and a turnover.
That's, again, we talk about that fine line. You want to exploit your advantages in Providence. Henke, terrific runner. They run very, very well, their front court players, but you can't force it. The defense that time from Marquette was back and turned into a turnover.
Showed you that rebounding advantage. Great night for Jeff McDermott. He's got 14 rebounds. Henke the block.
This is where, if you're Providence, you've got to prove to yourself that the dancing with the girl that brung you is good enough to win quality games. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. Stay with what they're doing. That's why this would be such an important win for them, because this really has been kind of their philosophy all year this year.
Timeout on the court. Providence on top 72-64. Doing it at the offensive end. And Randall Henke with the swat on the defensive end. Back here in Providence, Jeff McDermott, the versatility on display.
Yeah, I mean, a good finish there off the drive. You're going to see him score a lot here. You see off the drive first, then a post up there, and then off the penetrating dish, he finishes with the dunk. But he's got big numbers and terrific job in a floor game as well. 15 points, 15 rebounds, but he also has 5 assists in the game, and that makes now 26 career double-doubles for him, his 5th double-double of the year. When you can pass the ball like he can, rebound like he can, and score like he can, obviously a threat to go double-double against anybody in this conference.
And again, that balanced attack from Keno Davis's team.
Look who they go to here out of the timeout. McDermott, after penetrating, now posts up, sets the screen.
offensive foul on Brian McKenzie. It'll go the other way.
Talked about right at the top of the show, you got to get people to come and help. And Matthews does a nice job actually spinning around the screen that McDermott set to get in there, establish position, and pick up the charge.
Maurice Acker, the transfer from Ball State. He's got the ball, swings to McNeil.
Again, 1 in, 4 out, plenty of room to work.
McNeil, soft touch. Jarrell McNeil, 18 points, a high school teammate of Maurice Acker. They are great, great friends.
Well, how many more answers does Providence have in it? We'll see. Marquette just falls behind, makes a run at him. Buzz Williams encouraging his team. I think he senses maybe they can seize control of this one right now.
James the rebound and a chance for the Golden Eagles to cut into a 6-point deficit.
Providence going to have to make some stops here defensively. I wouldn't want to rely on Marquette just missing shots.
Hayward wide open. Buries another. Lazar Hayward with 19. He averages 16 in the year. And the Golden Eagles within 3.
All right, it's on now for the Friars. Do they have an answer after giving up that 3 and clearly having the momentum turned in this building?
Trying to find Hankey. They do. And that one goaltending.
Great pass by McDermott.
Great idea right there, trying to find Hankey. Lazar Hayward and Marquette right in this thing. Right here, some Big East basketball, part of Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by Disney Parks. Scotty Reynolds and Villanova going up against UConn. That's 7 Eastern. And then it's Clemson and North Carolina 9 Eastern on ESPN. Wednesday Night Hoops presented by Disney Parks. Part of ESPNU Campus Connection. Yeah, just about time to shut it down.
That's the way to watch the game in style.
The Easy Boys, that's good living right there behind the basket, huh? Being told Jeff Xavier, by the way, will not be back.
Took a elbow over the eye and left with a towel over that eye, which was bleeding profusely. A strange moment earlier in the game.
Hayward again. And hits again. Wow.
That's what you get when you've got experience. That was right out of the timeout. That's what they were looking for. Right out of the timeout. They knew, probe the defense, find the shooter. Just made one from there. Marquette again answers. They were down by 13. They've cut it to 2.
Brooks not able to answer with his own triple. And now James and McNeil.
Uh-oh.
Chance for the lead.
They'll take their chances with that shot. What a terrific pass. Wide open. Could have shot that one underhand. He was so unguarded. This is where Providence got to find some answers here.
Efajuku had it knocked out of bounds. Lazar Hayward in the second half. He has been huge. Last game against West Virginia, he had an IV in him because of he was feeling so poorly and had the flu. Had an IV basically right up until tip. And then came out and played and struggled, but showed the toughness. There's Efajuku down low as he knocked down James. Efajuku with 8, and of course attended his father's funeral earlier today, playing with a heavy heart, trying to lead Providence to a win.
Buzz Williams furious, though, obviously expecting a charge call there. Let Mike Kitts hear it, but Mike said that was a flop and no call.
Hayward underneath. Can't get the putback to go, out of bounds. And it'll be Providence basketball.
This is the kind of game, if you're Keno Davis, and he knows it, where and they have basically played the way they play. You talked about deep into their bench, good balance, penetrate, find shooters. If they can do that and win a game like this, it changes the mindset of the team where we think we can win this kind of game to we know we can win this kind of game. That is a huge, huge confidence builder. They can finish it.
Volley off his hands. Right. McNeil to Matthews. And Matthews will go to the line.
And right now, Marquette, you know, I'm a big believer in looking at the segment scoring of the game. Providence in the first half won 4 of the 5 segments. Marquette now has won the last 2, the segments being the times between the media timeouts, roughly 4 minutes, of course never exact. And Marquette now won the last 2, and look at the kinds of shots they're getting. You just get the feeling that this is, again, that experience and the winning experience coming to the forefront now. They look very confident.
Media timeouts at 16, 12, 8, 4. Now, one of the things about the experience, and you look at the trio right there, Hayward and Jr., and they have really come on in the second half, but they all defend as well. I mean, Dominic James, one of the seniors, does a great job. McNeil was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year as a sophomore.
And coming into the game, 132 steals for Marquette, just 97 for their opponents. That's a lot of extra possessions, and usually steals lead to good scoring opportunities.
Yeah, about plus 40 in that department. That'll work. Curry handling and feeds down to McDermott. And that one taken away. Toss up ahead for James. And we're tied.
Again, Providence now no flow. They go to McDermott, who is the guy who wants the ball in that situation. But you mentioned it, John. Marquette defensively rallies quickly, helps down to the ball, strips him, and gets an easy one. And we got a 5-minute, 10-second ball game on our hands.
Curry into the lane, and he's fouled. Maurice Acker charged with that foul, his second.
And you see the end of it. You see James with the dunk, but the play that really, of course, set that up was the help to McDermott in the lane. He was demanding the ball, got it in the post, and a lot of blue jerseys got to him in a hurry.
Sherrod Curry, who missed last year with a stress fracture in his foot. They start, the Friars do, 4 seniors and a junior, but Curry's the junior, and this is really his 4th year. This is the free throw. And Marquette with an opportunity to take the lead. It has been a while since the Golden Eagles last led. And a rebound by Curry.
17-26 in the first half is when Marquette had a 1-point lead. And that has been it. Providence biggest lead, 13. And as we said, it's been all Marquette the last 5 minutes.
A little head fake from McDermott, puts it on the floor, and off his leg, out of bounds.
What terrific job by Marquette defensively making big plays. You take a look at that Providence roster, top heavy, which is why you would think they are a dangerous team. You know, they lost in those road games we talked about, their lack of success on the road last year. They lost 5 of those games by basically 2 possessions or less. An overtime game, 2, 4. So they were close. Those are the close ones you got to have to turn it around. And this would be a huge win for them here against top 15 Marquette. But Golden Eagles not making it easy for them here in the last 5 minutes, John. The momentum's completely turned around.
See where they go. McNeil has it blocked. Brooks, huge block.
He has made some big plays. Now I can't get carried away.
Nice move.
Yeah, but again, a little too much. Great hustle there on McDermott. How about that hustle for the big fella?
So the senior able to hit the deck, call timeout, and it'll stay Friars basketball tied at 76, 3:49 to go.
Again, look at the terrific block. How quick he elevates on the extension. I mean, they brought the ball away from him. McNeil took it all the way across his body, away from the defender. Brooks still able to get the block on him.
We talked about how undersized Marquette is. I mean, Providence will play Marshawn Brooks, who's 6'5", 190 pounds, at the 4 spot, at the power forward sometimes.
Well, that's why I said earlier, I think Marquette was having a hard time matching up with Providence because they were the only team really that has given them a dose of their own medicine. Undersized in a lot of places, really spreading the floor, lots of experience on the floor, 4 seniors, lots of scoring options in that first, whatever 5's on the floor, and I think they've had a hard time. They had a hard time at the beginning of the game getting comfortable with it. They obviously have done much better with it here in the second half.
Marquette on a 12-4 run over the last 6 minutes And 30 seconds. Lob attempt for McDermott. And he's fouled.
Well, is there any doubt? We asked Keno Davis who's the best player, but obviously the go-to guy is McDermott, because these last possessions, he has been the guy they've looked to try and fight the Golden Eagles off.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And in part by Silver Star High Performance Headlights from Sylvania. Wouldn't you want 2 of the safest headlights on earth?
Well, the half-current Celtics president, Rich Gotham, Providence grad, class of '86. He was honored at the break, and what a run it has been for the state of Massachusetts athletically. Say the last 5 years, you know, you get the Celtics winning the title in the NBA last year, and Red Sox a couple of world titles, and all the success for the New England Patriots. I guess you'd say that Philadelphia right now is trying to take away that mantle.
The it city, yeah, and especially we'll see how it plays out tomorrow to add to that. This ball game, the story is simply this in the second half. Providence had 5 turnovers in the first half. They have 16 now. They are shooting 71.5% in the second half, Providence, and getting beat 5 points. That is just an indication that they've had a hard time taking care of the basketball and starting to miss some free throws now here as well.
Dermott has had a tough time from the line. You see now 3 out of 8. Make it 3 out of 9.
That's the problem. He's the guy you choose to go to, and you're not confident he's going to make the free throws. That's a difficult thing, and as you said, he has really struggled. Look at the composure of this Marquette team, though. It's just like punch the clock, go to work in the office, and do what we've done.
Hayward open again,
and that's what they do.
I mean, he's just been wandering over in that corner, snuck out towards the wing. 25 points for Lazar Hayward.
You don't think they know he's had the hot hand from there? That was designed. Great spacing, great patience. No panic, and he got a wide open look. Providence really a lot of dribbling and not much going on right now.
Marshawn Brooks. Efajuku.
Nice pass. Quick, Marquette is to react.
Oh, nice move, Marshawn Brooks. 17.
It's a statement game for Marshawn Brooks for the rest of the conference, because he has made some big plays. That was pretty good defensive effort by Marquette right there. Quick rotation, and yet Brooks still able to finish.
Fans on their feet. Marquette leading this one by a point. Hayward off the mark that time.
I'm not sure about that one, although the guy's been as hot as he is. Tough to question it, but Providence was giving so much cushion to everybody. Marquette could have moved the ball as long and easily as they wanted to.
And they get Jarrell McNeil with his 3rd foul.
There's your story of the ball game right there. 15-2 margin in points off turnover this half. And no matter how hot you are, and Providence still continues to shoot at a phenomenal clip. Tough to make up for that many extra possessions. And now for some problems at the free throw line.
13-22 now for the Friars. One out of 2 for Brooks, and we're tied.
Just another day in the Big East.
Got ourselves a good one here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. John Shambi, Bob Valvano with you. Marquette and Providence, the Golden Eagles 4-0. The Friars 3-1 so far in conference. McNeil buries a 3.
Simple ball screen at the top. So many weapons. Now, suddenly a barrage of 3s from Marquette after Providence had kept them in check for much of the game. Oh, my.
Brooks can't answer. The littlest guy in the court pulls down the board in Acker. And 1. Wesley Matthews. 19 for the senior. And we talked about the trio. Matthews, McNeil, Hayward, and they are all doing it down the stretch.
Well, and keep in mind, though, the little guy makes a pretty good decision here. James again Gives it to him, plenty of time for the strong move to the goal, draws the foul. And just like that, 2 possessions. And Marquette now with a chance to go up 6, and time becoming very much a factor.
It all started with a rebound from 5'8" Maurice Ecker.
People do not make as big a deal about free throw shooting really in general as needs to be. This is a very good free throw shooting team, Marquette. Oh, and now they're going to get a turnover on the inbounds. Look at that. Wow. That's inexcusable with that much experience. Jeff McDermott really very, very easy to avoid turnover there, and running out of time now for the Friars.
Here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, Marquette, number 14 in the land, leading Providence 85-79. John Shambi alongside Bob Valvano as Providence has led most of this one, but a furious second half run by Lazar Hayward and the Golden Eagles, and they lead it.
Well, not only a barrage of threes, but making great decisions in transition. You see Hayward with the dunk. See the great look at the top. He has been outstanding. Wide open in the corner. Made a couple from there. He's got 3 threes in the second half, 4 in the ball game. Or excuse me, 5 in the ball game.
Yeah, Marquette 7 out of 14 from 3 in the second half. That's been a big, big key.
I just love the composure of this team. When things got rocky, they just stayed with what they do, got shots from who they needed to, from the spots on the floor where they had confidence. And just like that now, they find themselves with a 6-point lead in the ball with $1:18 to go.
10 team fouls on Marquette, 6 on Providence.
Yeah, this does not turn around for that man's club. They're going to look at this as an opportunity that got away, because they've done a lot of things they really felt they needed to do to win the game. Great shooting percentage. They've gotten to the free throw line, and yet still find themselves running, as we said, uphill at the end of the ball game.
Marquette shoots it well from the line. Came in shooting just under 73%. Buzz Williams' team undersized. He said, these are our paint touches. We get to the line. This is effectively where we get our points in the paint.
And they are just assassin-like here late. I mean, every open 3, with the one exception, the one that Hayward missed, they've knocked down, and at the free throw line, flawless here down the stretch.
Coming up next, got a Big West showdown, Pacific and Cal State Fullerton. That's at the conclusion of our game. Brooks not able to hit. Big rebound, McNeil, and the foul. Under a minute to go, and Marquette trying to salt it away.
And you know what, John? You talked about it earlier, too. When the big possessions have come, did you see the defense? Providence no longer able to turn the corner, no longer able to get in the lane. And off that miss, 4 blue jerseys strong for the rebound. They are a team that recognizes the moments when they have to step up and make plays.
You know what's interesting? Perspective, because Keno Davis is going to feel like this is one that they let get away, and Buzz Williams' team is going to say this is one we took away from them.
Yeah, and you know what else? As we said, they are going to say not only did they take it away, they took it away not by reinventing the wheel, just by doing what they do. The shooters took the shots they're supposed to take. They made the defensive stops when they needed to, got a big rebound. Down the stretch, with that exception, have made free throw after free throw. That'll win you some games.
McDermott may have rolled his ankle a little bit. That shot by Curry off the mark. Kick up ahead, Wesley Matthews, and lays it in. Matthews now with 22, so 24.
Another turnover.
Wow, 24 for McNeil, 22 for Matthews, and 25 for Hayward.
The hardest thing, you know, I've often said it's going to sound quirky, but if you think about it, I really believe it. The second hardest thing is to win. The hardest thing is to win when you haven't won recently and nobody expects you to win. Because not only deep in your heart of hearts do the other people not expect you to win, you're not really sure yet. You just don't know. And that's what you saw in the last 5 minutes of this game. Marquette has won this game a bunch of times in the last 4 years.
Yep.
And they just went out and did what they do, expected to find it come out that way. Providence a little bit of hoping late, and all of a sudden the wheels came flying off. And that is going to be, as you said, an opportunity they let get away.
Brooks hits, and 21 for Marshawn Brooks. Let's take a look at that bizarre play, or at least something that turned out to be quite bizarre, with Jeff Xavier hammered there.
He's been having a good game, but now watch here. Take a look right there. Out of the stands comes a relative of Xavier and just confronts the official. And that, to be honest, when it happened live, John, we didn't even see it until he was basically in the lane, and that made it even more unsettling. And then, as you can see, Xavier just emotionally overwrought. Obviously was in great pain. When the play happened, he spent a long time down on the floor. A cut over his right eye. He was bleeding profusely. We've not seen him since, and that was a very, very strange moment.
And we double-checked part of why he was mad. They did not call the foul there. What happened was the ball got knocked away, went to McDermott, full-spout McDermott, and they called the foul there. So that's what he was angry about.
Oh, well, I didn't even realize that at the time. I saw him shoot the free throws. I thought McDermott was shooting them for him. You are right. McDermott was in the game, and that would make anybody upset because he clearly got clocked in the eye. But again, the play was not dirty.
Absolutely not. So we talk about the trio, and I guess you just sum that up as saying as advertised, right?
71 points between the three of them. That's enough to win a lot of games in this league by themselves. You don't need any help.
It's pretty quick by you, by the way. No abacus by your side.
I'll show you the math SATs. I can get that done there. Even with my shoes on, don't even need to count on my toes. This is going to be a difficult one for them to get over, though, because they know they had a great opportunity. Double-digit lead in the second half, 13-point lead with 14:42 to go. And then pretty much the game completely turned. See the emotion on Jeff McDermott's face the night where he went over 1,000 points.
Again, Pacific, Cal State Fullerton coming up next. Yeah, Jeff McDermott matching a career high with 17 rebounds. Acker pulls down the board, and that will do it. Well, Marquette down most of this game, a furious run in the second half, and the Golden Eagles win it 91-82. Senior leadership from a group that has won before, kind of the headline, right?
Absolutely. The story of the second half, where they really, I can't say were dominated, but pretty much this was Providence's game in the first 26 minutes. Marquette then flexed their muscles, got some big defensive stops, got the kinds of shots they needed to, made some big rebounds when they needed to, and really just absolutely did not deviate from what their game plan is. And a big win, because we saw earlier in the day Louisville get the win over #1 Pitt. So Marquette keeps pace, the only two undefeateds in the conference.
You know, for all the talk about the Big East and, you know, people favoring the likes of Notre Dame and Georgetown and UConn, it's the Golden Eagles at the top of the standings.
Well, and based on what we saw tonight, they're not going to be an easy matchup for anybody, because this Providence team plays a similar style, and at home, they couldn't handle them. This Marquette team, a confident, tough bunch.
And conversely, a missed opportunity for Providence. You're 3-1 in the conference and had a chance to win a big game at home.
Again, that's how quickly you can regroup in this league. Very often you're going to determine the success from the failures.
Huge win for Marquette. The Golden Eagles go on the road to the #14 team in the land. They win it 91-82. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Big win for Marquette on the road. Time now to join Dave Barnett with the call of Pacific and Cal State Fullerton.